Hello and welcome to my fourth vlog. Well, I believe this is already my fifth video in my channel, and for today, we are going to talk about how much does a teacher make in the US. So, most of you are asking me, why did I apply for a J1 visa to work here in the United States as a teacher? Well, there are three reasons why I did that. The first reason is, of course, I am a wanderer. Okay, so I just want to see how the United States look like without, spending much money on a vacation. So that's why I decided to apply as a teacher. While working, you get to wander around. The second one is, of course, I get to experience a different practice and a different culture. Therefore, I believe that my experience here, will contribute to my professional skills and will somehow, no, not somehow, but will enhance my capabilities as a teacher in the education field. And last, but definitely not the least, we all know, I believe, that there is a humongous difference between the salary of the teacher in the Philippines and in the United States. And that is why I am here to talk to you about how much does a teacher make in the United States. For today, we are going to talk about how much does a teacher make in the US. So the first question is, how much is the salary of teachers in the US? Some will say that it's 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, up until 60,000. Well, there's no definite answer in this question because your salary will depend on several factors. The first one that you may want to take a look at is, of course, your experience. How long have you been here, or how long have you been in the teaching arena? For example, you have your first year experience, second year, third year, or maybe even 2 decades already of experience. And then, as the second thing that you may want to consider is your educational attainment. Okay, so are you a bachelor degree holder? Are you a master's degree holder? Or are you already a doctorate degree holder? And last but definitely not the least is that the state where you are employed is also one of the factors. I believe that the salary of the teachers here in the US depends on the state where they are currently employed. So your salary will vary from state to state, or the salary of the teachers here in the US vary from state to state. Now, let's say, for example, you're teaching here just like me. You're a teacher here in North Carolina. You can do your own research. I'm not an expert in this field. I'm just sharing my personal knowledge. You can always do your own research and, type the whatever state that you may want to look at and how much do they make. So, for instance, you are a bachelor degree holder and you have 2 years of experience. You're teaching here in North Carolina. Probably on your first year here, or the first school year that you're going to be employed, your quoted salary for 1 year will be around 37,000. If you have 5 years of experience, then probably it's around $40,000. If you have 10 years, then probably $45,000. 20 years, you could have as much as $50,000. Now, if you have a master's degree and you are a holder of master's degree, if you have 2 years of experience, your salary for the school year will lie around 40,700 already. So that's an additional $3,000 from your bachelor degree, right? If you have 5 years of experience plus master's degree, then that is around $44,000. If you have 10 years of experience plus master's, that's an additional 4,500. That is around $49,500. And if you have already 2 decades of experience plus master's degree, then probably you're going to have $55,000. Now, if you have doctorate degree, you could have an additional of 4,500 on top $44,000. For 10 years of experience, you're going to have an additional of $5,000. For 20 years of experience, you're going to have, well, around $5,500 in addition or on top of your salary. So again, this will depend from state to state, and this will depend on your years of experience. This is just merely an example to give you to give you an overview of how much we could make based on our years of experience, the state, and your educational attainment. Now, please do remember that these are just coded salary. We go into a more detailed explanation or more detailed example of how much is your net salary for the school year or how much is your take home. So for instance, you are a bachelor degree holder and you have 5 years of experience. Based on my previous slide, the coded salary is around $40,000. Now you may want to take a look at that each state will have a federal income tax. I don't know if this depends on state to state, but in my case here in North Carolina, I have 15% in federal income tax. So you should deduct at least $6,000 from your quoted salary, because 15% of 40,000 is $6,000. Don't worry, this is not on a monthly basis. This is on a yearly basis. Now, aside from your federal income tax, you also have the state income tax, which will depend, this I'm sure, it will depend on the state where you are currently employed, and it's around $7, 7% of your quoted salary. Say for instance, your quoted salary is $40,000. Therefore, its 7% is around $2,800. So add up your federal income tax and then state income tax, and then subtract it from your quoted salary. Your net salary, or your salary for the school year, your wage for the school year, will be $31,200. Again, this is for a bachelor degree holder with 5 years of experience. Now, you need to divide it by 10, either 10 or 12 months, depending on the options that they will give to you once you are going to sign the contract or once you receive the contract for your salary or whatsoever. So you have to divide it by either 10. In my case, my net salary is divided into 10 months. Okay, so before we go on to the second slide, to which I will describe, or I will give you an overview on what are the expenses that you're supposed to expect or to pay here, your living expenses that you should, cover by yourself. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button on my channel if this video helped you somehow. Well, you could also visit my channel and you're going to see different videos that could be helpful in your application or in pursuing your American dream. I have videos like how to apply as a teacher in the US on a budget. Yes, on a budget without spending hundreds of thousands in peso, of course. And then you can also check the teacher qualification and requirements in the US. Bear in mind, again, that you can always do your own research, and this is all only based on my personal experiences. You can always ask the experts in the field, for example, those people who are really affiliated with the visa sponsors, okay? And also, I have recently uploaded the expenses after being qualified as a J1 teacher. For example, how much should you pay for your visa, or how much should you prepare as you go here in the US after being qualified during your application stage. So what are the expenses? Second question, what are the expenses here in the United States? All right, aside from your salary, you may want to consider your expenses, such as, of course, your rent. Now, your rent varies because there are a lot of rentals here. It depends. For example, you're going to have a room only that will cost around $300 or $400. And it also depends on what state, if you're whether you are on a countryside or whether you are in a city. You could also have two-bedroom apartment, which I think cost around 900 to $1,000 here in our place. Okay, so you could expect to have at least an idea that you're going to pay for your housing cost of $400 to $1,000. Now, other Filipinos here, they find housemates to which they could divide or at least share the expenses for their renting cost. And then you also have your health insurance. Our health insurance is around $75. Again, it depends on your health insurance provider, but I believe before we go here in the US, we are required to have a health insurance. And currently, I'm paying around $75. This could vary again on your provider. It could go high or it could, be lesser than $75. Aside from those things, we also have food, of course, one of our basic necessities. So food is around $100. I allot $50 for my grocery, and the other $50 whenever I wanted to go to a restaurant or eat any other food that I would like to eat. And sometimes it could go high. Around $150 if I'm really hungry for the month. And other expenses such as clothing, they call this your cell phone line. I also allot $100 for that. And then of course you also have your transportation. Now I believe there are three modes of transportation here. First, you can have your Uber. Uber for me is kind of expensive for me because I'm a thrifty person. One way here in Uber, for instance, you're going to have at least 9 miles or 10 miles. If the distance is around 9 or 10 miles, I think you'll be paying $10 to $15. It depends. Okay. So if I'm going to compute my expense for Uber, if I'm going to and from my school, so that will be around 20 miles. Let's say I'm going to pay $30 for Uber in a day. So $30. How many times do I go to school? 20 days in a month. So that should be around $600 already. And it does not include yet my transportation if I want to go to Walmart, to a pharmacy, or whatsoever. So that could be costly if you're going to do Uber every now and then. And then second mode of transportation is that you could do a carpool. Carpooling, if you have a friend here living in the United States already, or if you have a friend who has a car already, he or she could offer you a carpool, especially if you live in the same house, if you live or if you work on the same school. So you could do carpooling, and it costs around $100 to $200, depending, of course, on your consensus or agreement. And the last but definitely not the least, the third mode of transportation, of course, is owning your personal car. Now, buying a personal car in the US could be costly, but of course, it depends on the model of the car that you're going to have, its make, and the year that you're going to purchase it. So it depends on a lot of factors. But in my case, I have Mitsubishi Mirage G4, and the year model is 2018, and I'm paying around $480 for it. Now that $480 already covered the payment for my car, and as well as the gap insurance. So I have the gap insurance just in case there are mechanical problems within it. I just need to go to an accredited shop, and then I'm just going to pay the deductible for the car. All right. And aside from that, you also need to consider, of course, if you're going to own a car, you also need to consider the gas. $100 is already too much for me because I only go to the gas station once every 2 weeks. And the cost of my gas every 2 weeks is around $24. Which in a month is around $50 already. Why is it only $50 a month only? Well, because don't usually travel to different places. It's my first year. I just would like to save, but I also allot emergency fee, emergency budget. That is why I put $100, or I'm setting aside $100 for my transportation. And of course, if you're going to own a car, aside from the gas, you may want to also take a look at the car insurance. Now, the car insurance, I think for the first timer, or for those teachers who do not have yet their driving experience in the US or in Canada, you'll be required to have a comprehensive insurance. Yeah, I believe so. But in my case, that was what happened. I was offered a full comprehensive insurance, and I need to pay $350 for my insurance alone. But you don't need to worry about this, because after 3 months or 6 months, you can always change your insurance provider, and $350 could go down. Say for instance, after 3 months, I changed my insurance provider, and I'm still having my full comprehensive insurance, and I'm only paying around $250. And after 6 months, I'm planning to change again so that the payment will be lesser than what I'm paying right now. So in total, if you're going to add the rent, the health insurance, the food, the transportation, and even the car insurance, well, my monthly expenses here in the US lies around $1,600 to $1,700 per month. If you're going to compute that, how much can we save? Or if you're going to ask me, how much do I save monthly? Again, taking into consideration your monthly salary of $3,120, and then your estimated expenses of $1,700, I could save as much as $1,420. Or if you're going to convert that in Philippine peso, that is around 70,000 pesos already. Okay, so why did I divide the salary for 10 months? Well, again, you have the option to divide it either by 10 or 12. In my case, it was divided into 10 months. The second question you might have in your mind is, what about the 2 months that I won't have a salary? Well, correct me if I'm wrong. If I am not mistaken, Filipinos and other foreign nationals can reimburse their taxes for their first 2 years here in the US. I'm not sure. You could consult a lawyer or an expert in the field. But I believe for Filipinos, yes, we can reimburse our taxes for the first 2 years. So, for instance, I have been paying my taxes already for 5 months, and 2021 is going to end in few days. So I'm going to file my ITR, or income tax return, I believe. I don't know what they call it here. But anyway, I'm going to file for my taxes. So if I'm paying around $800 per month for the federal and state income tax collectively, you're going to multiply it by 5. So that should be around $4,000. Now that $4,000 could be reimbursed around the month of February to April. Therefore, that could cover already the 2 months that I'm not going to have a salary. Also, I believe that schools here have summer programs, so you may want to enroll yourself in, but you have to notify your visa sponsor, because I believe we cannot have any sidelines or jobs outside our teaching position here in the US. So you may want to notify your visa sponsor about it. You know, your J1 visa could be on the line if we are not going to notify them. So anyway, that is, just my knowledge about the J1 visa. Could be, I might be wrong, but you are free to correct me. So anyway, again, this is just an example. Our expenses vary, especially if you're still studying. I'm still studying. I'm still pursuing my doctorate degree. So it could change. The expenses could change. It depends upon the type of housing that you're going to have. your shopping habits. If you're going to purchase an old or new car, or if you're going to lease a car, and then if you want to travel from the different states or to and from different cities, and of course if you want to save just like me, I am trying to save during my first year, so it depends. Okay, now if you're going to ask me how to save money while in the US, well, you have to stay tuned because this will be one of my topic on my next few vlogs. So thank you for watching and listening again to my webinar series. If this video helped you or give you somehow an information and help you in preparation of your teaching job here in the US, kindly hit the subscribe button and do not forget to press the like button as well. So thank you once again, and please have a wonderful holiday. Bye.